This 13-year-old child is being handcuffed and hauled off to juvenile hall for a crime she did not commit. Nia Wims is in tears. She's accused of making threats against her school in Pembroke Pines, Florida. But her attorney says Nia was actually framed by another student. Nia was held for 11 long and scary days at a juvenile detention center. Her mom says that a student who'd already been bullying Nia took the harassment to a whole new level by impersonating her daughter on Instagram and then threatening to bomb the school and kill a fellow student. I spoke to Nia and her mother, Leslie Davis. What did you feel when you saw the officer take your daughter and put her in handcuffs?
I said to her, you're gonna handcuff her too?
As Nia was locked up, she begged police to investigate who was really behind the threatening messages. But they say police failed to track down the source of the threats for 2 months. Police claim their investigation was delayed because Nia's family initially did not cooperate with investigators.
They needed to acknowledge they were wrong. We screwed up. Don't try to pass the buck on a 13-year-old little girl and her mother, saying that they didn't cooperate.
This is something that she'll carry on with her for years.
The school tells us the safety and security of their students is their top priority. The charges against Nia were dropped, and police say the other student, whose name has not been made public, ended up being charged instead.
Shalom, shalom, akiyam. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak, Wadash. I would also like to give a double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned is 144% truth. I would also like to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, scattered throughout all four corners of this earth. It's just Bayan back again, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And I just wanted to get into a few scriptures, Lord willing, get an article as well. Going into the video, you Akiyam and Akwath just witnessed. Just more evidence, of the unfair treatment and injustice of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Because anybody in their right mind knows damn well that a 13-year-old female Jake is incapable. I won't say it's not possible, but I will say the statistics show that it's highly unlikely that a 13-year-old so-called black girl will commit a domestic terrorist act of the nature that was being described in this video, where she was being accused by apparently a bully. And how the authorities handled it, were obviously unfair and unjust, man. If it was a so-called white girl, 13-year-old white girl, she wouldn't have been handled like that, man. She damn sure wouldn't have spent 11 days in juvenile jail, man. That's for damn sure. See, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you got to realize that you're behind enemy lines. This is not the place of our rest. We're prisoners of war. You are not going to get treated the same, man. And this just, this is just another, video that you can find, or information rather, that you can get into and look into, proving that that's the case. We're oppressed. All 12 tribes are oppressed right here in Babylon the Great and wherever else in the world, because it's part of the curses, man. But primarily here in Babylon the Great, America, man. And let's grab a quick scripture through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Let's grab Jeremiah, the 50th chapter. And the 33rd verse, and it reads, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together," right? All 12 tribes. And where have we been oppressed together? Right here in Mystery Babylon the Great, aka America, man. since the inception of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man's rulership over here, until this very day. We've been oppressed. Let's get this word oppressed real quick. Let's go do the blue letter. The blue letter hasn't been working lately, but all right, it's working now. All right, let's go there. Let's go to Jeremiah 50 and verse 33. And this is the reality of our so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
Strong's H6231. Ashak. Ashak.
Ashak, right? And it reads, to press upon. You see? Oppress, violate. That 13-year-old girl was violated, man. This country supposedly stands on what? Innocent until proven guilty. How she was treated as if she was guilty until proven innocent. Why couldn't they ask the friend that she was supposedly praying to? Report stated. We're going to actually go back to that video and run it back. But supposedly she was praying to a friend, and the bully claimed that she was, going to do all these, domestic terrorist acts. But needless to say, she was violated because they could have simply asked the friend. They could have gathered witnesses. It shouldn't have taken 11 days. They pounced upon her because this is not the place of our rest. This is where we're serving out judgment. And again, until you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans realize that, you're going to continue to fall into the hands of these devils, man. But continuing on with this definition, right? Or the meaning of this word, oppress, right? To press upon, violate, defraud, do violence. Yeah, the so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, we've been being killed all day long, man, since this captivity we've been serving out here in Babylon, Mystery Babylon the Great, right? Get deceitfully wrong. Yeah, they did her wrong, and us as a whole, we've been getting done wrong for centuries now, right? Extort, and that's the point. You get it. Let's go back to the scripture, the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 33, and it reads, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah," all 12 tribes, "were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go." And this is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. He's refused to let us go. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has hardened this devil's heart, just like he hardened Pharaoh's heart, just to set him up for destruction, which is imminent. We're living in the days of the buildup of this man's visitation by our power. But needless to say, I want to grab a quick article from 2019. Before I do, let's run this video back one more time.
This 13-year-old child is being handcuffed and hauled off to juvenile hall for a crime she did not commit. Nia Wims is in tears. She's accused of making threats against her school in Pembroke Pines, Florida. But her attorney says Nia was actually framed by another student. Nia was held for 11 long and scary days at a juvenile detention center. Her mom says that a student who'd already been bullying Nia took the harassment to a whole new level by impersonating her daughter on Instagram and then threatening to bomb the school and kill a fellow student. I spoke to Nia and her mother, Leslie Davis. What did you feel when you saw the officer take your daughter and put her in handcuffs?
I said to her, "You're going to handcuff her too?"
As Nia was locked up, she begged police to investigate who was really behind the threatening messages. But they say police failed to track down the source of the threats for 2 months. Police claim their investigation was delayed because Nia's family initially did not cooperate with investigators.
They needed to acknowledge they were wrong. We screwed up. Don't try to pass the buck on a 13-year-old little girl and her mother, saying that they didn't cooperate.
This is something that she'll carry on with her for years.
The school tells us the safety and security.
I mean, you can see it on the 13-year-old girl's countenance that she's not capable of committing those type of heinous crimes that were accused towards her. I mean, you could see it on her countenance. You could see that she's healthy. Her mind is healthy. You could tell she's, just a typical 13-year-old little girl. Not really a little girl. Theoretically, after 12, you're a woman, male and female. After you get your menstrual, obviously as a woman. Whole different video for a whole nother time. But my point being is that you can see in her countenance that she wasn't possibly capable of doing, like, as a psychiatrist can analyze an individual, their characteristics, things of that nature, to determine if they could be a public risk, and the average Joe can look at her, you could tell that she's not, you know what I mean? She look healthy in the mind. But these people here, you have individuals that were obviously possible risks, and it was just swept under the rug, and then they committed these heinous acts. Why were they just, pretty much just brushed over? It's because they were so-called Edomite. Not so-called, they were Edomites. They were so-called white people. And the majority, let's find out who are the majority that commit these heinous domestic terrorist acts, like a school shooting or a massacre. Let's see who's doing this. This is from 2019, right? And I might get a strike for this video, but I really don't give a damn, right? So this is from Sky News, right? 2019. August 6th, 2019. Why are so-called white men, because they're not white men, you are Edomites. You are the Edomites. Why are the so-called white men carrying out more mass shootings? Because you're the devil that the Bible speaks of. Let's continue on. I want to get to a point here where it brought out some statistics that were current at the time. Let's see here. I'll start here. The U.S. Congress defines a mass shooting as a single incident where 3 or more people are murdered. Another definition that is often used classifies it as when at least 4 people are shot, either injured or killed. Of 114 mass shootings using the Congress definition between 1982, May 2019, 110 were carried out by men. The final 4 are made up of 3 women and 1 case of 1 man and a woman working together in the San Bernardino attack in December 2015. All right, let's see how many let's see what's going on here. According to Statista analysis, in the same time frame, 64 of the perpetrators are white, so-called white, while 19 are so-called black, and 10 are so-called Latino, and 8 are so-called Asian. All right, now here's the point. About 60% of America is white only, while current stats show white people carry out about 58% of the shootings. But as a proportion of all races and shootings, white people far outstrip others. You see that? They far outstrip others. And look, man, you could see that these people, you could see it. Look at this, man. I'm going to have to go to Google real quick. Let's go to Google real quick. Let's go to Google real quick. Let's go to images real quick. I searched majority of school shooters are white, right? Now watch this. What do y'all see, man? And these kids here, they were accused. These kids have been accused of Michigan school threats. You see? So these are just threats. But who got dirty? Let's go back. Look at some of America's most deadly mass shooters. You got one Jake sprinkled in there. But what do you see? Look at this, man. Look at this boy. My goodness. Look at this. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. The bloody man. The profane man that the Bible speaks of. He's committing these heinous acts, man. But then again, they wouldn't have been dealt with the way they dealt with that Jake, that 13-year-old Jake. The cops had no sympathy for her, man. Because these devils don't show favor. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. You know what? Let's go back to the scriptures. Let's go to the curses real quick. Let's go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. And I'll start at the 49th verse, and it reads, the Lord, the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 49, and it reads, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. Who is this talking about? This is talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, as swift as the eagle flieth. Let's prove that real quick and we'll come right back. Let's go to Obadiah. Salakia. The book of Obadiah. I'm going to start from the top and then jump down. The book of Obadiah, right? Verse 1. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom. And if you read, what's that? Genesis 36. Genesis 36 and 8. It specifies that Esau is Edom. See that? And this is concerning Edom. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Now I'm going to jump down to verse 3 real quick, right, to prove that point. In Deuteronomy, that this is talking about Esau, as swift as the eagle flieth. The book of Obadiah, verse 3. The pride of thine heart had deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? That pride. They're going to be brought down, though, guaranteed. Thus says the scriptures. Verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, see? This is that same eagle that we were just reading about in Deuteronomy. This is referring to Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Right? These devils have set up satellites. They got the space station. You see? They build these skyscrapers. They like that high-minded devils, man. And they've been like that since the beginning. Let's go back to Deuteronomy. So we know that it's talking about these devils. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 28 and verse 49 again, right? The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Right? Because our original tongue that we were speaking was the Lashawan Quadash, man. Paleo Hebrew. This is the bastard tongue we speak. You know, we're speaking the languages of our oppressors, man. verse 50, the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 50, and it reads, a nation of fierce countenance. And right, you see that in their actions, man. Just look at their history. This whole country, America, was built off of rape, rob, and murder. Free labor, bloodshed. That's how this whole entire country was built. Which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. And this is these devils. Point proven in the video with this 13-year-old girl that got locked up on false accusations for 11 whole days. And they didn't even do a proper investigation. You know, and that reminds me. In that video, I noticed something that triggered me to actually bring this out. Now check this out.
Security of their students is their top priority. The school tells us
Cooperate.
This is something that she'll carry on with her for years.
Look at that Edomite cop that's locking her up. I had caught that through the spirit after I watched the video several times, just because the spirit was, you know, I felt like I could, you know, bring up some edification with this video, because I mean it's clear injustice, you know, and hypocrisy when you look into the history of the individuals that are truly capable of those type of heinous crimes that she was accused for. But my point is, look at this cop. Look at this Edomite cop. At least from face value, she looks like an Edomite, right? You think that's a sign of sympathy that she's showing? Like she feels bad that she has to lock her up? No. That's her making mockery, man. She's making mockery. Because this is what these people do. These people are the wicked. They're the wicked that the Bible speaks of, man. And you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, until you wake up and come to your senses, if it's the Lord's will, and you return back to the true power of all heavens and earth, and his only begotten son, Yahweh, who you people ignorantly call God, his name means he is, and he exists. He's omnipotent. Bahashem means in the name, and Yahweh Shai, who you people ignorantly call Jesus Christ, which his name is an omen nomen. It literally means he delivers. Yah means he, Hawah Shai means delivers. Until you return to the true powers, all right, of all heavens and all earth, and the only begotten son, you are going to continue to fall into calamity. And ultimately, you're going to get caught up in Jacob's trouble, because you're going to have no covering. And those of you that are joined unto this devil, you have a missile with your name on it. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kwadash. Lord willing, you Akiyam and Akwaf were edified. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kal Halalim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kwadash. Shalom Akiyam.